Hey guys, Foxdrop here on a video on who deserves the blue buff, whether it's your mid laner that deserves the blue or whether it is the jungler. Now this topic is one which is very old and people have some quite strong opinions about this kind of thing, and people have been giving their thoughts and asked me for my thoughts, so I thought that's what I'd do this video on. But also this video is going to be a tiny bit of a rant, but more importantly it's going to be a bit of an insight into my perspective on this whole topic in general. But first and foremost, I just wanted to give you the short answer, the answer most of you guys are probably looking for. So whether you should give your blue to the mid or whether the jungler should take it. So in short, it's never worth the argument. If your mid laner is going to troll or flame or rage or whatever, or go AFK because they don't get your blue buff, give them the blue. It's never worth the argument. It's never ever worth the argument, in my opinion. If they're going to do all those things, even if they're 0-10, even whatever, just give them the blue. It's never worth it. That's my golden rule for the blue buff. However, outside of that, in a more kind of mature setting, if you feel like you can do more of the blue buff if you take it yourself than if you give it to your mid laner, then you should take it. Whoever you think is going to have more impact with that blue should get that blue. That's my opinion. So if you are snowballing, for example, then taking blue can be good to help you continue to snowball. However, if you're also very far behind, then taking that blue, will help you to get back into the game. But if your mid is doing well, or if your mid is playing a champion that really needs blue buffs, so someone like Orianna, or the enemy mid is playing a champion that can push really hard and they do get blue buffs, so like Ziggs for example, if your mid doesn't have blue and that Ziggs does have blue, your mid's going to get crushed, so you should probably give it over to them. And there are also champions that the jungler could be playing, so like Shyvana and Arenga, they're not really that great with blue buff, or they don't need it. It's nice for the experience you get just for killing it and also the 10% CDR, but it's not as good on them as it would be on other junglers. So you have to weigh all these things up, and basically, like I said at the beginning, it just depends what you think is going to have more impact by taking that blue. But communication is key. Like if you ask your mid laner if you can take the blue, or just be nice about it, don't just be entitled to anything. And that's how I think you should go about it anyway. But like I said, the golden rule, if it's going to start an argument, just give the blue over. However, I wanted to talk a bit deeper about this topic, because I think that this topic in itself, the question is kind of wrong. Like, I don't think anyone should be asking this question or thinking about it this way. Mid versus jungle, I don't think you should be doing that, because when you're playing solo queue, what you have to be doing is you're doing everything in your power to help you win that game. Now some of you guys might be thinking I'm being contradictory by saying that, because previously I've said don't play to win, play to learn and play to improve, and that's true. But when you are improving and when you are learning how to best do everything in your power to win the game. So they're kind of the same thing really. When you are playing to do as much as you can to win the game, there are no mid versus jungles. That doesn't matter. You know, you don't need to be thinking about it from that point of view. You shouldn't be creating more internal battles. You have enough battles of your own playing versus 5 opponents. I mean, it's 5v5. As far as numbers go, that's a very even game. And as far as MMR matchmaking goes, it's meant to be an even game. Not all games end up even, but that's on paper, it is an even game. So why would you create more battles in between your own team? You don't want to be thinking about me versus my team. And that's what this whole mid versus jungle thing does. If you feel entitled towards your blue buff, then that means that you are looking down upon your mid or something like that. And or if your mid feels entitled to it, it creates clashes and you just bounce off of each other, and it's not good. Like, you don't want to be doing those things. You start a game with 5 enemies. Those are the 5 people on the enemy team. You don't want to be creating more enemies within your own team. I kind of feel like when you're playing solo queue, 50% of it is playing as well as you can, and the other 50% is trying to get your teammates to play as well as they can. And a big part of that is not creating any arguments within your own team. And I kind of think this mid versus jungle perspective is incorrect. From, like I said, you don't want to be having that. You are a team. You are one. And I don't want to sound like, you know, all Zen and Buddhist when I say this. I just think, you know, don't worry about whether, you know, who gets the blue buff. Do it from what you think is going to help your team best win that game. Whether you get that blue, whether your mid laner gets that blue, whatever happens, if you feel that's the best decision to make your team win that game, then make it so. Don't worry about whether it's you or your mid. You shouldn't be thinking about it in that point of view. So that's just kind of my opinions on this topic, guys. I didn't want to ramble on too much. I can kind of tell that I'm starting to ramble a little bit, but that's just my the way I like to look at it. And I know when I've been streaming, I have been asked this question a little bit, and I've always given this answer, so I figured I'd actually make a video about it. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, as always, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you like this kind of videos, let me know in the comments, because I don't really do too many of these rambles or these rants and stuff, but just like my insights on things. Yeah, so let me know. Also subscribe, of course, if you enjoy these kind of videos. And you can catch me on my Facebook, my Twitter, my stream on Twitch, all that lovely jubbly business. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video.